Hello and welcome back to Partly Crafting. Today we are going to be reviewing the Alice in Wonderland 16-inch limited edition Disney doll from 2021. So I have her right here beside me now. She is one of the dolls that I've been wanting since she came out. My first doll I ever got was Kida, and I got her from the Disney store. You can actually see her there. I got her from the Disney store for my birthday years ago. My mum got her for me. And I love her, and she is still my favourite, but I think she's it's like between Alice and Kida for my favourite doll now. So here she is. She is beautiful in box. I am an inbox collector, but I will be taking the screen off and showing you that, and I also have the limited edition card saved, so I will show you that as well. So she is a beautiful doll. She's got diamantes all over the skirt with the singing flowers, which is my favorite scene in the whole movie. I think it's just incredible, and I think my favorite detail on this doll is on this little I'm not sure what you'd call this, the kind of extra bits on the skirt. They look a bit like aprons. I think that was the inspiration. Is little bread and butterflies from the movie, so I'll show you that in more depth. And she's just beautiful. I mean, her bodice is made of velvet, which I'm not a fan of. Like, I don't like velvet. The texture makes me feel sick. But it looks really nice. Like, the texture picks up the light really nicely compared to the shiny skirt with the diamantes and everything. She's a very shiny doll, and I like that. So yeah, I guess we'll just get into it. Here will be a Yappers review. I can talk for England. So this will be almost every single possible detail you can squeeze out of this doll, because I know that when shopping for limited edition dolls, I find that really important. So yeah, that's what we're doing. So a bit of background information on this doll. She was made for the 70th anniversary of the original Disney animation Alice in Wonderland movie, which is one of my favorite movies. I really like Alice in Wonderland. A couple years back in tutor time for school, we were reading Alice in Wonderland, the original book, and I just loved it. This doll itself was made for the 70th anniversary, as I said, and it was made in reference to Mary Blair, who was the artist who did the original concept art for the movie. So on the back of the box, we've got some information here, which I will put up a photo of, and it explains the concept art and kind of what led them to this design, because it really is a beautiful design. Just a subtle difference I'd like to point out from the other dolls is that I think it was intentional. Her box is slightly more faded than the colours of the doll itself. That was done intentionally. This isn't like a broken box or anything. And I really like it because it really makes her pop out of the box. I have the 65th anniversary Sleeping Beauty, which is the pink and blue dual tone one. I will put up a picture. And the box is like neon pink and blue, which is beautiful. But because the doll is the same colours, it pulls her like back a bit. She blends in. Whereas I think Alice really stands out against this red background with the blue dress and then the kind of washed out box. But it's still really pretty. It's just muted colours. So I did get this doll secondhand off of eBay. I got her for, I was in a bidding war. I wasn't actually, I got her, I bid £150 on her, which was quite a low bid for most kind of bids for this doll. The lowest I could usually find was 160. With postage, she ended up coming to 163, which I was happy with. She is the most expensive doll I own with that. The most expensive dolls I own at the minute are my 65th anniversary Sleeping Beauty, 25th Mulan, and 25th Megara, who were all 120 because they jacked up the price, which I think they've jacked it up to 140 now, which is shocking. But yeah, so she was quite expensive, at least for me, because, you know, I'm a teenager. But I am so happy I got her. I was honestly not sure if I would ever get her. She is like my version of the D23 Vanessa. Do you know what I mean? I was just obsessed with her from the moment I saw her. Always at the top of my wish list, so I'm so happy. She features the modern style of limited edition box with the beveled edges and the windows with foiling on the sides. I think it's a really nice detail. I don't own any of the square boxes. I'm looking into getting Elena of Avalor, which is in a plain rectangular box, the old style. But honestly, from looking on screens and things, I do prefer the beveled boxes. I will say that obviously if you're one of those collectors that has like hundreds of dolls, and a lot of people stack them up one on top of each other like a wall, it obviously is easier to stack the rectangular boxes. But I think these ones are really pretty and they look like a proper display case, like in a museum or something. These boxes come in 3 layers. So you've got this front layer, which I will take off now, that is tied together at the back with a ribbon that matches the colour scheme, which I always really like. So that's that. You've got the box scheme. My cat is staring down the ribbons right now. That is worrying. So then you're left with this. And then, oh, they come in 4 layers actually. And then you've got the plastic box with the metallic foiling on, which I find so beautiful. And they put the foiling in places where the cardboard covers as well. So if you take the cardboard off, it's still a cohesive design, if you know what I mean. So like all of this, you cannot see when the box is on, but it's just a lovely detail to have when you take the box off. It makes it a bit more of a almost glamorous experience, as well as the classic Disney logo there and the sticker to say 70th anniversary, which I think they all have now. All of my dolls have that sticker except for my Kida from Atlantis, which is a shame, but I don't really mind because I don't mind about the stickers too much, really. Then you just lift the doll out like this, and you have the back of the box. So I'm just going to put all of this to the side and get back to you. Okay, so here she is, the 16-inch limited edition Alice in Wonderland doll. I think she's one of the most beautiful dolls Disney has ever made. So it is such a beautiful doll. My one does have a bit of hair gel on her face, as most of them do at this point. But, you know, it's nothing that I can't get off later. I do believe that this face sculpt is unique to Alice in Wonderland, and I believe it was a new face sculpt when this doll came out. I think they made this face sculpt specifically for her, and it is really nice. I mean, it looks just like the 2D character. Her hair is long, it's about waist length, and curly blonde, light platinum blonde, and it is gelled and styled into proper curly ringlets, which I quite like because I'm an inbox collector. I know it's going to last. I know a lot of people don't like the gel curls, but I quite do. As usual, she has the, I believe it's screen printed face. It might be hand painted, but last time I heard they were screen printed face and rooted eyelashes. As always, I mean, the rooted eyelashes look really nice, especially as Disney has this style of face sculpt where they add in the 3D eyelids, if you can see that. It just really helps blend in. And her eyebrows are really nice, actually. There's 3 tones in there, which makes it look really realistic. Although they are brown and her hair is blonde, but, you know. For her dress, she's got a beautiful V-line bodice, almost a plunging neckline. It's really nice, and it's got this off-the-shoulder effect with this mesh blouse. So she's got this mesh blouse with a black collar and this little timepiece that's been sewn around. It connects to this sparkly brooch on her left collar and then circles all the way around to the back on a real metal chain. This pendant is actually metal as well. And I say timepiece because it is sculpted to be a small little timepiece like the ones that are referenced so much in the original movie. So yeah, this neckline piece is a sheer, almost translucent mesh, and then this velvet plunging neckline, which is beautiful. As I say, I don't like velvet, the texture freaks me out, but it's so nice and it sparkles so well in different lighting. It looks really beautiful, and it's kind of on the sides, there's this kind of white piping going on with these loops, and it's really dainty and beautiful. She's then got these puff sleeves that are a white sparkly fabric that are finished off with black cord and white lace. I just think it's so beautiful and a really cohesive top. I mean, you could put anything as the bottom of this dress and it would probably go with it. Then we can move on to the skirt. She's got this beautiful blue satin, lovely light blue. Light blue is my favourite colour, so I think that is part of the reason why I'm so drawn to this character. And then along the side, she's got this, I want to say it's called a peplum, but I could be wrong, and I believe it is inspired by her original apron style dress, her little pinafore that she was wearing in the original movie. On top of these pieces, we have white paneling that has been embroidered with the flowers of the singing garden, as well as little metal bread and butterflies that have been stitched on. I find these so cute. I think it's such a nice little detail that they really didn't have to add, and a lot of companies wouldn't, but they did, and I'm so happy for it. As we move down the skirt, we can start to see these iridescent diamantes coming in, or rhinestones, depending on how you like to call them, with this pattern that tapers up in the center and then flows out of the singing flowers. And I think it is one of the nicest things in the world. We have all of these different colored diamantes on the different fabrics to match the colors that are printed on. This is printed fabric, but I think it's nice. I don't think it would have worked with foiling or embroidery. It would have just been too thick. So this is really nice. I'm really happy with this. And these pleats, ruffles should I say, are so detailed, and the way they flare out is just beautiful. And then the bottom of the skirt is piped with this black bias binding, which again just looks so nice. And I mean, just look at the way that sparkles, honestly. The fabric, as you can see, is really quite well made. They didn't cheap out on the fabrics here. It is really quality materials. This is part of the reason why I think she's such a good doll, is you can tell that she is an expensive collector's item, whereas some of the newer ones are lacking in quality. Underneath the skirt, we have a real petticoat. This is so nice, you don't understand. So many, well, all of the limited edition dolls nowadays just are padded out with tissue because it's cheaper, and if you can't see the bottom of the skirt, then it doesn't matter. But because this is a shorter skirt, clearly they felt it was necessary, and I'm so happy they did. The little pieces of netting poking out from the bottom of the skirt looks so nice, and just the fact that they went through the effort of making this a petticoat and not just sewing around the edges with this mesh is just lovely. And it is this kind of sparkly white fabric as well, which is really nice. As well as this, we have actual tights, or if you're American, pantyhose, which are just this lovely, brilliant white, and they go all the way up. They are actual tights, which is lovely. They're not just stockings, because I make dolls and I know how hard it is to make tights fit properly on a doll, so I'm really happy they went through that detail. And finally, down to the shoes, we've got these lovely, just kind of simple black pumps, which I think is nice given that she is supposed to be a younger character, with these little kind of fabric cutout flowers. And I just think the way they balanced this doll with a quite simple, elegant bodice and hairstyle to a really intense, loud, colourful skirt, and then a really sleek, elegant, simple leg portion, I just think was such a smart design idea. And I'm just so happy with this doll, honestly. I think there's very little, if anything, I could say that's an issue with this doll. I would say, obviously, the crunchy hair, some people don't like. I'm not too fussed about. And literally, I think that's about it. She has actual metal pieces, which is so rare nowadays, and so many diamantes. It's actually crazy. It's just the quality is what makes me really happy about this doll. You can really feel the luxury of this. So just to give you a sense of scale, these limited edition dolls are 16 inches tall, which I only know it in inches because it's an American company, but that is quite large compared to a regular doll. They're about double the size. Here we go. This is a regular sized pen next to her, so you can really get that sense of scale that she is giant. I mean, she's about maybe 3.5 regular sized pens tall, if that means anything to you. So yeah, I think she's just brilliant. Okay, so I used to display my certificates of authenticity in front of the doll boxes, but since getting Alice, she's got a lot of detail on the bottom of her dress that I don't want to cover up, so I have decided to keep them in this lovely folder. Certificates of authentication in chronological order. Tried to make it as fancy as possible. So I do take the certificates out of the plastic bag, which I haven't seen many people do, which worried me for a while, but turns out that's fine. So I keep them all in this binder in little plastic wallets, organised in order of when I got them. So in case you're interested, first we've got Kida from Atlantis, and then Esmeralda from Hunchback of Notre Dame, Meg from Hercules, and then all of my Disney Designer Collection princesses, which I'm not going to say them all because I've got like 5 of them. Then my Disney Villains Mother Gothel, which is old. Not to sound like a baby, but I got this one secondhand for £50, which was a steal. And she came out when I was 4, which I didn't realise until I bought her, but she is quite literally 4 years younger than me, which is crazy because I was in reception when people were buying her off of shelves. But I'm happy that I have her now, and to be honest with you, I want the rest of the collection. I think it's a really nice group of dolls from that year. So, yeah, and it really does show you how well these dolls, stand the test of time, given that I didn't even know she was that old. I thought she was made, 2015, but she was a while ago. And then we've got the Mulan doll, Sleeping Beauty, Monster High creature from the Black Lagoon, which is over there. I also do collect Monster High dolls. She is my first Skellector doll. And I am in the market for a Greta Gremlin. If anyone knows someone or you are selling one, message me on Instagram. And on Instagram, I also have linked my business email if you want to email me on there. And then Alice. I think her certificate is one of the most beautiful. I love the design of this, and I think it's really nice. As always, it is the kind of cardstock with the printed imagery. It's kind of pearlescent, and then the embossed and gilded number. So on this it reads, Certificate of Authenticity, Alice Collector Doll. This limited edition doll, released in 2021 by Disney Store, has been carefully designed by Disney Store artists to ensure every detail was captured. This collectible doll is sure to be a treasured keepsake for many years to come. Most of that is a copy and paste from the other ones, but it is nice that they include a little speech on there, and then the back of the boxes have a lot of information on them as well, like more than you would think, so I always read those when I get the dolls. My doll is limited edition number 6214 of 7900, if you can see that, which is a fairly decent number, nothing special. I used to get really excited when I got really low numbers, like I would tell my friends. Turns out it doesn't mean anything, but still fun nonetheless. So I think that's it for the Alice doll. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, leave them in the comments below and I will respond as soon as possible. As well as that, if you want to see any other dolls in my collection, message me, put it in the comments below. Go and follow my Instagram, because I post on there. I post on my stories on there almost every day, with lots of updates, and I have highlights to show you my doll collection. So I would be very open to making more collection videos like this. Obviously this was quite in-depth, lots of yapping, as they say, but yeah, if you want to see any more kind of yappy, in-depth ones, then I have lots of other dolls, and more incoming, hopefully. I'm planning on getting the Mary Poppins one that's coming out in December, because I grew up on that movie. I have a vivid memory of playing that VHS as a child, so I will be buying that doll as soon as it comes out for whatever godforsaken price they put it up for. And I think that's about it from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you want more content, I implore you to watch my other videos. I make custom dolls, all of which are one of a kind, and you know, a lot of effort goes into those videos and those dolls, so I would really appreciate if you watched them, and like this video if you liked it and want to see more of this type of content, because I like making this type of content as well. I will see you guys in the next one. Au revoir. Okay, back up on the shelf.